This is a nice sight to see first thing in the morning. Look how happy he is. Hi there. Oh, you gonna get it? Happy.
And a proper good morning to you. I am awake, I'm showered, I'm shaved, I'm exercised. I got up and I did my 7-minute workout this morning, feeling pretty good as a result. Felt pretty terrible as a result immediately afterward, but that's the way it's gonna work. That's just how it works. You're gonna feel pretty bad after you do any sort of exercise until you're in pretty decent shape. And even then, as long as you're challenging yourself, you should feel pretty terrible, unfortunately. But it's Friday morning. I'm getting an excellent start to the morning. I hope you guys are having an excellent day wherever you happen to be. I had a thought. It's what I do. I have thoughts, and generally they're bad ones, but this one might work out for the best. As I mentioned yesterday, this will hopefully be going the way of the dodo today. It will be going away with someone else. And until I get a new treadmill desk in, that means there's going to be a very large opening right here. And the big issue that I talked about yesterday is that I don't really have a great place to film. Now, I talked about moving this out of here to have this place and be able to use that for filming, but I was thinking, especially since I haven't been using my desk much lately, what if I move the desk from this corner up to this corner? It's still going to be relatively near to the modem and the router. The router's right here, the modem's right behind it, because the cable outlet is literally right under this TV. So if my desk moves from here to there, if I were to bring a desktop back in here, I would have a place to hook everything up and not be too far away from it. That does address the other potential thing. Kyle has been mentioning down in the comment section that I really need to bring my desktop back in here, get it off the main TV and back onto some monitors and stuff, which there's a part of me that agrees with and a part of me that doesn't, especially if that USB docking station ends up showing up from Anchor. I'm definitely going to want to be able to use both the monitors for the MacBook Pro, but he does make a valid point. It would be very nice to have the desktop back in here, even if I just hooked it up to the big TV here instead. That way I would have it hooked up to a TV, so if I wanted to see what was going on, I could. And as a result of having the treadmill desk here for as long as I had it here, I have some very, very long HDMI cables. Kyle was talking about buying a really, really long HDMI cable and running it into the living room for Vive time, and I would be able to do just that. The one thing you would really lose out on in doing that, like I was saying, if I moved the desk up here, I could technically have the desktop right here in the corner, and then have the HDMI and USB coming out to the Vive and circling around through here, and just put it in place whenever it was time to play the Vive. But again, what you would lose out on with that, the reason why I probably will not end up doing that, is because when you're playing the Vive, if you're playing it in the center of this room, no one's going to be able to see what you're actually doing if it's showing up on a screen in the other room. It's so nice for them to be able to look at the TV and say, oh, look, that's what the person is doing. That's what they're playing. You could be able to give instruction. You could be able to interact with it, things like that. So that's why I will probably not be moving the desktop back in here. I'm sure Christina would love it if I did, but so far the desktop has not really gotten in the way of anything. It's not really been, as far as I know, a problem for anything. But I think rearranging the office the way that I was just talking about would be a pretty good option. So I may have to consider that. And what that would do, inevitably, is free up all of this space here for filming. Meaning I could technically keep all of my filming stuff where it is right now, and when I'm ready to film, pull it all out and film this direction, or I could pull it all out and film that direction, just have this whole area dedicated to being filming stuff. More likely than not, I would have it all over here facing this way, such that this is like the backdrop, meaning I'd have to get all of this very, very clean and keep it that way. But with all the new drawers, new shelving and everything, that would be a little bit more feasible. So I don't know. I've got lots of options, lots of possibilities. This room, even though it does feel kind of small to me right now, is feeling much, much larger because I have emptied some of it out and I have arranged it in such a way that it just flows a little better. The other good thing about getting rid of this desk, even if I do move this desk down this direction, is if I wanted to put doors in here, because I had somebody in the comments ask about doors and why I don't have doors in the downstairs area. Maybe it's just me. Every house I've ever lived in, unless it's a bedroom or a bathroom, does not have a door. I know that is a thing where a lot of times kitchens or dining rooms will have doors on them, but we generally just have entryways. But if I wanted to, since this is an office and it kind of needs to be closed off from the rest of the house, I could put up French doors here, and since this will not be here anymore, taking up all this excess space, I'd be able to actually open this door and not hit the desk and break the door. So that's another good possibility moving forward. Awesome. And actually, if it worked out appropriately, I might even be able to, when the new treadmill desk comes in, whenever I order one, I could put it over here facing that direction, and so I could see the TV while I was on it and working and walking. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, I've spent entirely too much time talking about office layout. I've been doing that entirely too often lately. It is time for me to get to work. So, a little while later, and interestingly enough, I took the time, I moved the SIM from my iPhone back over to my Galaxy S7. Since I finished the video up, I've had several people asking me, one, how the battery life does if I turn Wi-Fi off. and I haven't been able to turn Wi-Fi off because I haven't had a SIM in it. And two, I've been concerned whether or not I was actually going to be able to use Android devices on Straight Talk, because whenever I've tried to use Android devices in the last month, for whatever reason, they just stop working right. They stop getting data. So far, I've had the SIM in here for probably an hour and a half, and it's been going just fine. It says 4G LTE, and the speeds earlier were like 20 megabits per second down, 6 up. So I'm going to give this a good shot. I'm going to let this go and see how it works for the rest of the day, not using Wi-Fi. So I'm going to be testing the battery. I'm going to be testing how the actual Straight Talk service is working on my Android device again. And I suppose we will just see how it goes. And it is quite a bit later. This little one has made it home. And I just turned on the camera in time for us to walk out the door. We're actually going to go out into the rain. It's raining, by the way. And we're going to pick Ellis up from daycare. This is significantly less fun than anticipated. Lots of standing water on the road. Traffic's moving pretty slowly, but we have to go get Ellis. Well, I'm thoroughly regretting taking my giant umbrella out of the back of the car. I normally keep this ridiculously large sport umbrella in here for when Duncan was playing soccer. And as soon as soccer ended, I took it out, and now it's downpouring the rain, and I had to carry the baby out with a little tiny umbrella that I had. We kept him dry, that was the most important thing, but I got pretty wet. Hooray, everyone is home and it's food time, even though we've all been here for a little while now. This is something new. What is that?
Chicken enchilada bake.
Chicken enchilada bake? I moved the camera while she was saying it, but oh look, there's a baby. Hello, baby. So this is something new you found?
New recipe I found. I thought I'd try.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
Looks very chickeny. I see lots of beans in there.
There's only one can of beans.
Only one can of beans. She doesn't mention it's a 64-ounce can of beans.
It is not. It's a 15-ounce can of beans.
There you go. Christina's doing complicated math problems, trying to figure out if we should switch to Dish Network or DirecTV or something. And she was saying that she wished she had 2 monitors. So I made that happen. That works. It's not as close as it could be, but the TV's mounted, so there's not exactly any, yeah. It works. And now there's a big open empty hole in my office. It's quite a little while later. We were sitting in there, the baby was eating his apples or something, and I was sitting there checking something on my computer, and all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and it's the guy from work who wanted to buy the treadmill desk, and as you can see, it is gone. And I apparently managed to scratch the floor. I'm sorry. The desk part of the treadmill desk had plastic feet on it, and apparently when he and I were kind of moving it around to get it into a better position away from the wall, it came off the little mat, and yeah, a scratch about 3 inches long. Crap. One of the significant downfalls of having hardwood floors. Christina has been introduced to Rhett and Link, and I think she likes it.
No, I've seen Rhett and Link before.
Oh, you've seen it? Oh, okay. They're watching about beans. And it is already quite a bit later. It's already 11:30 p.m. We got Duncan in bed quite a while ago. Actually, he got to stay up a little bit late because it is the weekend now. And Ellis demanded his bottle earlier than normal, so he's actually already in bed, which means that I can get to bed early. Hooray. But Christina's gone to bed, and again, Ellis and Duncan are in bed, so I'm gonna sit here and get this vlog edited and uploaded, maybe watch a couple of videos on YouTube. I actually started watching Casey Neistat. One of his earliest big claims to fame, other than his own short films, was he had a series on HBO with his brother, the Neistat brothers, and for whatever reason I just noticed that it's mostly, if not entirely, available on YouTube. So I watched the first 3 episodes earlier today. I may watch episode 4, maybe not today. It's just sitting here on my YouTube queue in front of me to watch, so maybe. But you know what? Definitely not a bad day. Always nice to make more room in the office. Always nice to get some stuff accomplished. Made some good progress on day job stuff. Unfortunately, did not make any progress on YouTube stuff, but I guess there's always tomorrow. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for spending the day with me and the family. We'll see you again tomorrow.